The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Welcome tonight to the South Boston Speedway in Virginia tonight for the running of the Joker's eSport 150. This track here, South Boston, is still used today actually in the real life for a lot of hometown short track racing. It's one of the most popular tracks in iRacing here. And we're going to have a lot of fun here tonight at South Boston. Here in the booth tonight, myself, Austin Coop, Kelly Dahl, and then Cisco Scarmuza in the booth, giving us the picture as always. And Kelly, this track has been known for its close quarter racing, and tonight it's going to be the same for these guys. We've got a lot of drivers out here tonight. We've got a total of, looks like, around 26 drivers here at this less than a half mile. This is 0.4 miles of a track, and these guys in particular, they're still doing qualifying runs right now. This is going to be a very close quartered race, and we're going to see a lot of beating banging at this track. We've already had a couple races in here. In the books, we've had two different runners, Stefan Marinek and Matt Knuckle, who currently resides at the very top in that pole position. But this track has a lot of history, and I think these guys are going to try and do what they can to really make their points bid for the chase later on in the season a big exclamation point tonight.
Yeah, this definitely is one of the more popular tracks, considering it is one of the free tracks on the service. A lot of these drivers got their start in iRacing, turning laps at this track in the little street stocks. Now here they are in these late models, and these guys are definitely some of the best we have on iRacing when it comes to short tracks. So there's going to be a lot of beating and banging, but there is going to be a lot of close and clean racing here tonight, and I am very much looking forward to seeing how these guys played out.
We're going to take a look at the points here in just a moment. The graphic pulling up right here on your screen, and what you're going to notice is that Stefan Marinek, he is still in the lead on that points, but Matt Knuckle, he is 7 points behind, and he is a rookie in this series despite having a lot of experience in these cars. Then you got Sean Cole, Rasmussen, Holtzclaw as your top five. They're pretty close together with this whole top 10, and realistically we're only a couple races in, but can never be too early to talk about how your points cutoff looks. Moment, you know, you only got 10 drivers that are going to make it into this playoff format, and we saw a lot of run-ins with drivers last season towards the end of that one, which ultimately decided Nicholas Rasmussen to be the champion, and he's running a good position. He's in fourth right now, only 15 points behind Stefan Marinek. But these guys up front, the top five, they've been up the front basically in both races the whole time, so they'll be interesting choices and guys to watch this whole time.
Yes, Nicholas Rasmussen has currently put himself on the pole at the moment, but there are still a few more drivers left to turn some laps here, but he definitely seems to be one of the favorites here tonight. He was fourth in practice, currently sitting first on the provisional pole, but also, as you mentioned, Matt Knuckle, he's currently sitting fourth, so not too far behind, just about a 10th back from Rasmussen. We'll have to see if he's got that race pace to take the race to him.
Yeah, we also wanted to know, when we just had taken a look at the points, we saw AJ Hamill sitting in 12th. He will lose that position by a good margin, as he will not be able to be here tonight. He has some other issues to attend to, and what he's attending to, we wish him the best of wishes going forward for him and his family. But going back to the on-track stuff, Nicholas Rasmussen, he does have that pole. We'll be getting racing just shortly, but we've seen a lot of action in these first few races, and to be fair, we haven't really seen the tire rule come into play a terrible amount. We've seen it come into play just a little bit here and there, but we haven't seen a driver come up through the field, use a late caution to propel themselves with tires. We've seen drivers move back really far, but we do have the ability to take tires. They've got 4 tires or 2 jacks. They can only let the jack up twice on those machines. But South Boston, we don't really have the ability to really go down pit road very often, and so I think that's going to be definitely make a big point that really only the top 5 can come down pit road, get their service, and make it back out without losing a lap.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very difficult for these guys to come down pit road. If they keep an eye on where their marks are, maybe with a caution, they could use that to advantage, but I don't suspect to see anyone ducking down there unless they've got some very heavy damage and can't really go on any further without taking a pit stop here. But what's another interesting thing is how much rubber these guys have laid down during the practice session. The corners are very dark, and we'll have to see if that's going to maybe play a factor later in the race.
As always, we are happy at LSRTV to have you along, and we're going to take a look at our starting grid right here. Nicholas Rasmussen, he will start that 71 machine in the first position on the pole tonight, and definitely a really good shot for him to get one. He's been really fast, like you said, Kelly. That top 4 has been really good in practice and has had themselves a really good run in it. So he's going to get that with a 14.923. Sean Cool, he's going to start on the outside. He's done really well in qualifying the last few weeks. We'll have to see if he gets to put one together. And you've got Jake Watson and Matt Cocker starting 3rd and 4th. And Alex Borgens, he's going to start 5th. Stefan Mernack, he'll start 7th or 6th. And then Rex Hoyle, he'll start 7th. I'm messing up names quite a bit here. Scott Naslin, he'll start 8th. Then Game Fortin, he will start in the 9th position. And then Ryan Rogers Jr., he'll round out the top 10.
Sitting 11th will be Kyle Charpentier. 12th sees the 99 of Eric Hagg. Mike Hawksclaw will start at 13th. 14th to Justin McDuff. 15th, Mark Royer. Dan Dubuque will be starting in will be starting in 16th. 17th to Al Smith Jr. Michael Woodring in 18th. 19th to James McIntyre Jr. And rounding out our top 20 will be Curtis Martin.
Wayne McDuff, Rudy Wildred, they'll start 21st and 22nd, and you got JW, Ryan Long, 23rd and 24th, and then the last row on the 13th row is going to be Trevor Valderrama and Dylan Prosler leading out tonight's race for this evening. We're at South Boston right now, and while these guys take their 2 laps around, they're already almost done with their first one. The track specs are up 0.4 miles of this track, and they're going to be doing 150 circuits on the night. And before we get underway, we do want to give a big thanks to the folks at White Knuckle Clothing Incorporated for being the title sponsor of this series, as they're going to be for the entire rest of the night. Well, it's almost ready for racing time already. Nicholas Rasmussen and the rest of these guys, all 26 of them, all ready to go behind the iRacing pace car to get 150 laps to see who will win round number 3 of this Pro Late Model Series. So, pace car is down and away, and the green flag is out. Nicholas Rasmussen, he'll get these guys going, and he'll get a good jump, and it's the battle for second right behind him.
Yeah, Sean Cool stuck on that outside. Jake Watson using that inside line to his advantage. Looks like Sean Cool gets into the wall, and that's going to drop him back to 3rd. His car might be cleared. Not quite the 69 of Matt Cucker. He's trying his best to get his nose in there, but the 24 of Sean Cool will slot down into 3rd at the moment.
And a lot of these guys get top 5 or get down to single file. Looks like Rex Hoyle's trying to fight off Scott Naslin there for the 8th position. You're still seeing double file. That's from the restart, or that's from the start of the race, not the restart. That's from them just getting off the grid. And then just only a couple guys. Looks like the 33 of Scott Naslin and the 12 of Brian Rogers. Those are the only guys who are still on the outside, trying to get back in file, trying to get back in line. And the rest of these guys, it's 150 laps. They don't really want to push it too much. Those guys on the inside also don't want to push up the track too much. So that's why those guys on the outside are getting such momentum. But they're still fighting. This group of 4 right here, they're still side by side, just kind of holding their ground at the moment, and really no battles other than these guys right here. But right side of the top 10, we've got these guys still side by side for position.
And Naslin is holding some great pace on that outside line. It actually gets in the wall a little bit there, which will drop him even up now with the 50. And these two have just been kind of just nosing back and forth, neither of them really gaining much ground. So I think it's going to maybe even take a few more laps here before one of them finally wins. It looks like a big checkup from the 50, and that actually will give Scott Naslin a position, but he's still kind of hanging out on that outside. Looks like he's just liking his line a bit more up, maybe about 1 lane. He's not getting all the way down to the yellow line there.
I'll tell you what, I've always kind of preferred that outside lane in the driver's cockpit more times than being on the inside, just because you get so much momentum. The insides rub it in so much. Now, we might see that change as the runs go on. Might see those drivers start to move up. Well, looks like we're going to have our first caution of the night. Looks like it's the O2 of Trevor Valderrama and Michael Woodring getting into it. Looks like that O2 machine of Valderrama is right front is pretty kicked in. Gonna have to see exactly what happened, but it looks like he may have got into the one. Oh, he lost the handling on that car out of two.
Yeah, the one of Dylan Prostier just kind of gets into the rear end of Trevin as he tries to come up the track. Looks like Trevin might have just spun the tires on the exit and just chopped across the nose of the one, and just didn't. The one never had time to check up, got into Trevin and sent Trevin hard into that outside wall.
Yeah, he got a second pounding of the outside wall too, and then I think the 51 of Woodring, he barely got into him, but it's going to be enough to give him a little bit of pain for the rest of the night. So it looks like that number O2 machine, he's going to come down, and looks like he's steering that car pretty hard to the left while it's going straight. He might just be done for the night on this.
That thing is beat up. I'm looking at it with some alternate angles here, and that front end of that 02 car is smashed in. So I think he may have to park it. If not park it, he's going to be down quite a number of laps just waiting for that the hammers to just pound out the dents there, because there is not much left for the front end of that car.
And I'll tell you what, we really haven't talked a lot about Valderrama. I mean, he's been involved, I think, in an accident pretty early in each race, but he's always kind of stuck it out. You know, he's been running with these guys pretty weekly, and for this rookie, he's had a really tough beginning to this season and to his start with these guys here at the White Knuckle Closing Pro Late Model Series. So definitely looking for him to get some better finish as it goes on. His night's not over, because this is South Boston. It could definitely change within a blink of an eye. As we're already 10 laps in. We're going to be on lap 12 here, actually coming to, looks like, a possible restart. Yep, iRacing pace cards, lights are off.
Lights are off. These drivers are getting back into double file, and they are set to get another green flag and another tough run to see who's going to be able to file in to their positions here. And we got Jake Watson now in that unwelcome second position. It's not a great spot to be outside on the restart. It's very hard to see when that leader jumps.
Right, Cool has a chance to get his position back, but he doesn't get a good start, actually. He can see a pretty poor start here, and the 80's going to jump down to the bottom, and now it's going to be Cool versus Cucker, and Cucker, I already saw, was trying the outside lane already. He's already got a nose up on the number 24 machine, and it looks like they're still going to be side by side. That bottom's still pretty good, is it? Oh, he gets into him! And it looks like he's going to be able to hold on to it right there for P number 4, but he's going to lose that position. Got right in the door of Cucker, and Cucker was able to just kind of keep driving, but look behind him. Look 2 by 2. The same guys, the 50 and the 13, the 33 and the 12. They're still doing battle, but they've swapped positions right now. 12 and 33 on the inside. This is a good battle for this top 10. They still are going at it.
Yeah, neither driver wants to give up, and it looks like a great run from the 50 of Rex Hoyle, and he's actually going to maybe see if he's going to challenge the 25 of Stefan Marinac. Almost got a nose in that time, but he's going to not quite be able to clear him. And again, he's going to peek to that outside, see if he can maybe get a run on him, but if he's not careful, he might lose a position himself, because the 13 is now starting to get his own run, and if he can get clear of that 33 on the inside, he might be able to drop down.
That 50 Rex Hoyle's got to get going, though. I think that 13 of Game A Fortin's getting a little impatient off the corners. He's faster than both of them, I think. He just has time for the room.
Oh, trouble back in the field, the 33.
Yeah, they get in the wall right there, but they're going to keep it going. It looks like that's the 99 of Eric Hag and a few other drivers, 22 with Holtzclaw and Charpentier right there out of into turn number 3. That's where they got into it. So those guys having their issues there pretty early. But look at turn number 4 right here. Looks like Matt Cucker's making the move on Jake Watson here, but he's not going to be able to complete it. Cucker's looking for that position. You can just tell the different lines. Look at these top 4 drivers. They're doing some different lines here. In the 71, he's on the very bottom. The 88 is in the middle. The 90 or the 69 is on the very top. Well, it's not the very top, but at the top as you can probably go. And it's trying to get that arc into the corner and trying to get the outside. But these top 3 are really close racing right now. Oh, it's going to give him the bumper.
Yeah, Watson's going to start getting into him a little bit. Watson wants to try to make the move, but just can't quite get clear. He's going to look again, but now the 71 is shaded up the track. He's now going to look to the inside, but just doesn't quite have the momentum. So Jake Watson now getting a little bit frustrated behind the wheel. He's going to try to make a move again to the outside. A little bit of a wiggle there from him, and that might be the end of his run for second place, because look at the 69 looking to the inside. We almost go 3 wide as the 88 gets his nose in on the outside of the 71.
Watson was fastest in practice. Look at him get to the outside of him. He's going to... Oh, looks like the 69 almost makes contact, but it's the battle for the lead right here. Going into turn number 1, and Watson has his preferred line on the very outside of the track, and the 71 is not really letting him have it. He actually moved up the track just a little bit, trying to compensate for him going to the outside, but I think Jake Watson, he's going to be able to pull this off right here at turn number 4, and looks like Rasmussen's going to have to concede that position for right now, but Jake Watson, fastest in practice, he's now P1.
And the battle isn't over yet. Look at Matt Kucker. He's trying his best to try to find a gap that he can go on for the Nicholas Rasmussen. He wants that second position, but if he makes a risky move, he's also got Sean Cool right on his bumper. Sean as well looking for a gap that he can run for, and not a great exit from to the 69. He gets a little bit slow off the corner, so another chance for Sean Cool to make a move, but just can't find a gap to run with.
That run was Jake Watson and Rasmussen just a couple laps ago. That was what short track racing is all about. Is fighting for the real estate. Rasmussen knew exactly what was going on, but we're going to put that conversation on hold and say that we've got another caution on the back straightaway. Oh, the 25 of Stefan Marinak. He's involved. I'm unsure what happened to him, but looks like he and the 9 car. The 9's had an eventful season so far, but he gets really loose off of corner exit in number 2, and 25 was right there. Nothing he could do, and I think he just barely knows it in the inside wall. And then I think the 9 was pretty clear after that, but he does get a little bit of damage as well.
Yeah, I think Stefan will be okay. He lost a lot of ground, though, but it doesn't look like there's too much damage to the front of that car. He hit the inside wall pretty lightly, but the main killer for him is look how far back in the field he is now. He has lost so much ground, and he had these short tracks. It is so difficult to get any sort of position here. Track position is absolutely vital because you have to fight tooth and nail for every single spot, so the damage isn't the big problem for him. It's that loss of track position.
And that's kind of what scared me about watching the 9 of Alex Oriens jump back up on the track so quickly is I knew why he was doing it. He was doing it so he could save his track position, but he actually almost got, if Eric Hag and company behind him weren't paying attention 100%, they might have ran into him. And I was really worried that we might have a big junk up after the accident already happened, but Oriens knew what he's doing, had enough room between him and the next driver, and I think the 20 was actually that driver that had caught him, and he was able to maneuver around the outside of him. But Alex Oriens, he's going to try and... He had a really good practice session, had a really good qualifying session as well, and right now he's going to have to do the same thing as Marinak and get up through the field and know that really neither of these guys can get tires without losing a lap right now.
Yeah, it looked like the 25 ducked down pit road just to maybe bang out some of that damage, but he wasn't able to, I think, keep himself from going a lap down. It was close, though. He jumped out of that pit lane right as that pace car was coming up alongside the pit exit. So if you're going to come down for service, you have got to make sure you keep an eye on where that pace car is, because if you lose track of him for even a second, you might be caught sleeping in the pit road, and if you put yourself a lap down here, it's going to be nearly impossible to get that lap back.
And if these leaders were bumper to bumper, it would be a lot easier, but they're not. They're basically going wherever they feel like it, being really easy on it. So that makes it really hard for guys later on in the pack to really make a benefit off of it. However, up towards the front, Jake Watson, he is elected to choose the outside lane for the restart. So he will be able to see what it's going to do like, and he's actually waiting quite a bit back from the iRacing pace car right there. He's going to duck down now. We'll get a green flag in the night. He's a good jump, really early jump on the rest of the field. He's going to get 2 car lengths between himself and anybody else. Really good maneuver by him, but looks like the 71 almost didn't quite let the corner right there. He's going to slide it right in front of the 24 of Cool right there. And we've got our battle for 3rd place. Kucker's going to have to get it back here the hard way, and him and the 24 are going to do battle.
And another caution in the field.
Looks like it's going to be Dubuque. Jan Dubuque. The number 61, Sonic Machine. He's still stuck in turn number 4. And he's actually going to be able to get that thing rolling around. So a little bit of the jitters, I'd say, with these guys. But we'll see what happens here.
And it looks like Dan's just coming around the corner battling with the 0-3 there of Chris Martin, and Martin got his nose up the inside. Dan tried to arc the corner and just chopped right across the nose of 0-3 and just kind of took himself out for a ride.
And I know those barrels are there, but I don't think they'll actually do damage. And if anything, he barely nosed into the wall, and I think he'll be fine. I think he did get just a tiny bit of damage. That front fender looks like it is knocked in just a tiny bit, But in all reality, that's not bad for what could have been.
Yeah, it's just a light damage on the bumper, and that's about it. And at a short track, I mean, you got to expect these cars are going to get a little dented up. So I think he'll be all right there.
Yeah, and that could have been a lot worse, like we were talking about. And I think something else to talk about is, you know, we're having a few cautions here, is that you know, when, you know, pit road's a big deal, but also just track position. If we get a lot of these cautions, we're going to see drivers start to get desperate, and it's only going to provide, you know, the good old saying, cautions breed cautions. You know, the less laps they see that they're actually going to be able to contest their position, these guys are going to start getting a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more antsy. And I think that's what that one was. Is I think that was the 03 that may have got into him, of Curtis Martin. And Martin looked pretty quick earlier on the practice session as well, but I think Martin put the nose there, not thinking that he'd come back down. That's a typical short track racing thing, especially here at South Boston.
And another thing is, you've got 25 cars on this track. This track is 0.4 miles long. That is a lot of cars and not a lot of space. So these guys are going to get all bunched up, especially with all these cautions. And really, if you're so you've got to focus on so many different things. So maybe Dan was looking at the gap, the car in front of him, and maybe not quite the car behind him. And you've got to just make sure you know exactly where all your gaps are around you. So there's a lot of things for you to keep track of. It's very hard to know where your spaces are, and your spotter may be trying to tell you about 3 different things at once. So definitely it's a spot where you can get into a lot of cautions.
Just as quick as it was waved, looks like we're getting the 1 to go signal in front of the pace car, and Jake Watson's hand has been shown on this last restart. We'll see if he continues to do that. I don't think he'll be able to Houdini these guys again on the restart. He had an absolutely great jump that last time, but he does the same thing. He gives that pace car a lot of room. He's only going 40 miles an hour, but he's on that outside lane, so it's a lot slower than you would think, because he's not low on the track, but he's going to get himself a good start, and the 71 of Rasmussen does as well. He's not going to be in such a difficult time as he did last time. Rasmussen washed up the track just a little bit. Look at Knuckle coming for the 2nd position right here. He's really low on the track right here. We'll just see how this battle shapes out for the 2nd place. And Knuckle's got himself a good advantage right here.
Yeah, Knuckle is even below that yellow line. He's dropping his wheels, and he gets turned a little bit. The 24 of Sean Cool gets into the bumper of Matt Knuckle, and that is something that's been brewing for these last few laps. These top 4 have been battling against each other so hard, and these guys are giving up any sort of formalities. They're starting to really get into each other now, and looks like the 69 of Matt Knuckle now has pulled up alongside Nicholas Rasmussen, and these guys are door to door now battling for that 2nd position.
Getting close to already the 1/3 mark. It's 150 laps, but this is actually going to be a short race before it's all over. I think, oh, look at Rasmussen. He gets really sideways right there in turn number 1 and 2, and this is going to be Knuckle's advantage right here. I think the 71 may have overheated those tires earlier on the race. He's now paying for it, and you can see Knuckle just get all the way down to the bottom of the track. This is a good battle between these guys, giving each other plenty of space, and I think that's something that is really hard to do. These guys are both really good at driving these cars, and have done it for quite some time. So these guys continue to go side by side for that position. Doesn't really look like anyone has a clear advantage, at least right now, but gotta wonder how long that 69 can be in the bottom, wasting, I wouldn't say wasting, but using those tires quite a bit. But another battle that's going on, Rex Hoyle in the 33 is Scott Naslin. Naslin's on the outside right here in turn number 3 and 4, and they're doing the same thing as those 2 up front are.
Yeah, it looks like the 333 will actually get a bit of an advantage there. He might clear Rex Hoyle this time around, and yeah, there he goes. Kyle will clear Rex, and will take that position. Now it looks like he's going to try to go to the inside of Scott Naslin. Just can't quite get there, though. Just up the field, we've still got that 69 of Matt Knuckle. He's now actually under attack from the outside from Sean Cool. So he's lost ground to Nicholas Rasmussen. Now Sean Cool's going to try to see if he can make that outside line work. Yeah,
you're definitely seeing how important that outside lane works. I feel like earlier on when Knuckle was on the outside of the 24, Knuckle was really fast, but now that outside lane is kind of like the opposite of what we normally think of. There's so much rubber pulled down, Kelly, that I think this is just what we're going to have to expect the rest of the race, is just that outside lane is just where it's at. You can't think of this as the shortest round is the best way. You've got to think methodically. You've got to go and arc that corner in, because look how far away Jake Watson is. He made that move to go to the very outside on Nicholas Rasmussen earlier on, and the lane is only widening out more. I mean, I'm really surprised about how wide they are. They're all the way to the white dotted line. I mean, and we're only at lap 50 here coming this time by. I mean, this is pretty intense rubber that they've been putting down this whole session. I mean, they had 50 minutes of practice, and they just put a lot of rubber down. A lot of these guys did more than 100 laps of time on this track during the practice session.
Yeah, they have put down quite a bit of rubber, and that's only going to make it even harder for these guys to find ways around each other, because if you've noticed, we can't quite make the moves on the inside anymore. You just can't quite get the run that you did earlier, and now it's definitely moved to that middle line, and maybe we'll have to see guys even maybe go up near the wall even, as they are just getting further and further out. And now it looks like Jake Watson's going to have to contend with some lap traffic within the next few laps, as he's starting to catch up to the one of Dylan Prost here.
Yeah, something that we don't see a terrible amount in this series is lap traffic, and it looks like that is going to be, like you said, Prost is going to be right in front of Jake Watson. He might be down on power, but you've got to wonder. Typically, lap cars go to the outside, the leader goes to the inside, but most of the time at short track racing, hometown short track racing, they'll actually stay on the inside, and then those leaders will go to the outside to do the passing. But right now, their preferred line's the outside, so where does that lap car go? That's going to be, we're going to see a few more lap cars as the night rolls on. We're going to see that really be quite an interesting statistic. It's just to see where these drivers really go to maneuver around these lap cars. As looks like the one still on the top side, not giving way just yet throughout the field.
Matt Knuckle, though, he hasn't given up on that inside line. He's now moving to the inside of Sean Cool, see if he can get himself back in that third position, and it's actually working at the moment. They've gone door to door, and there's contact, and it nearly sends the 69 of Matt Knuckle into the wall, and he'll have to back off and regroup again to try to make another move, and that'll put him right to the reach of the 13, who gives him a little bit of a shove there.
Yeah, look at Guillermo Fortin. He's gone from 9th to 5th, and that's no easy feat at a short track like this. I mean, not many drivers have come up through the field like this, and he's done a really, really good job of getting to this top 5 and making something work for it. I know he's been a driver that's been really hungry the last couple of weeks to get something really big, and he's not in that top group. He's not in the top 15 on points, so this could be a really, really good day for him if he's able to make it work. But look at the 69. He's going to get that position on the 24. Looks like a slight mess up, and that's going to be the battle continuing on for that third position. And looks like the 24 is going to squeeze him up high. This is a good battle for third place right here, and I've also got to see that the 24 is going to continue to try the bottom, but that outside line has really prevailed for the 69. I would be surprised if he'd be able to keep him up, keep him side by side for too long. So he's going to get that position. He's going to get third place. But watch Guillermo Fortin. Let's see what he does on the 24 right here, if he's able to get by him too.
And now look at the line. They're getting even above that dotted white line on some of these corners, and there just doesn't seem to be as much grip on that bottom side anymore. I'm starting to think that this track is really starting to warm up from these guys running on it, and it's just they're trying to find just the cooler patches of pavement around here that'll just give him that little bit of extra grip. And looks like the 69, though, he will drop down to try to cover off the 24. It just chops right across the nose, and the 24 gets into the lap traffic. A little bit of a bump from the 1 as he's just trying to stay out of the way the best as he can.
This is something that you've got to expect at a short track like this. There's just not that much room, and when the line is so small, you saw Knuckle go to the bottom because you knew he was going to have to wash up later on, and I think that was a really good decision. But Cool was kind of in a predicament. You didn't really know where he'd be going, and so that was exactly what you saw right there. So you're going to see a lot of these guys trying to get around Prosser right here. Prosser is just trying to get out of the way of these guys, nothing else to it. And you're going to see lots of, there's the 50 go around. Looks like Rex Hoyle. He's going to get turned around in turn number 4. He's going to sit there, no caution just yet. He's going to sit there still, and looks like leaders will go by. But if he moves now, the caution will fly, but he's going to go lap down here, and he's actually going to swallow the pride and come down pit road. That's admirable because he did not bring the caution out. He could have definitely done that to get his position. Wow, I'm surprised by that move.
Yeah, he tried to get himself on the track and just realized there's no safe way that he could have gotten himself out there. And now, even now, he's kind of stuck. He's having some trouble. At least he's now pointed the right way, and he will get himself back on the racetrack and back up to speed. But it looks like he lost 1, maybe even 2 laps there. So some big problems for Rex Hoyle, and that's going to really put a damper on his night after running so well in the midfield early on.
Yeah, he was slowing down for the lap car of Rex Hoyle, but he is Rex Hoyle, sorry, of Prosser. Now he's a lap down at least behind the number 5, behind everybody really, and he could go another lap down before it's all over. So that's a really unfortunate deal for that.
As we talk about that, looks like Matt Kucker has moved up a little bit closer to Nicholas Rasmussen, and as Rasmussen kind of just drives around, Jake Watson has opened up a 7/10 of a second gap there, but now he's having to contend with some lap traffic. That gap will go down to 6/10. We'll have to see if the guys in second and third can maybe just work through the traffic a little bit better than Jake and close up that gap a little bit. Oh, some big problems for Sean Cool. Gets really loose through the corner there, and he will lose a position to the 13 of 410.
I feel like those tires on the 24 from starting on the inside so many times is starting to get to him. I don't think he's running hard, but that's definitely happening. But I'm looking at the interval between the leader and Nicholas Rasmussen. It's getting smaller, and that's just I think that's just because these lap cars. It was 7/10 that last time, but now it's 4/10. And you can see those drivers on the inside. Those lap cars are making it really difficult for Watson. So we're gonna have to keep our eyes on this lead. Because it's getting smaller and smaller every lap. And Kucker, he's getting Nicholas Rasmussen right here on the inside. He's trying to make the move right now, but I just don't. That inside lane is so slick. I cannot imagine that he's going to be able to get anything, at least at the moment.
He may even have to run that line that's right up near the wall, but he's going to try his line from earlier. He just arced the corner, trying to see if he can get a better run to get up along the inside. He's going to try it once again. Getting some good runs off the corner, but it's just not quite the fastest way around, it seems. He's going to try once more to get all the way down, even below the yellow line. There's some grip down there, it seems. It hasn't rubbered in, so he actually gets a pretty decent run through there.
Yeah, he gets a really good run on the bottom, but I feel that he's going to probably be able to save his tires a little bit more because he's not running as fast. He's not pushing the car so much in the corners, not having to slide up. But look at all this lap traffic in front of the 88, your leader. This is really slowing them down, and I have a feeling what's going on is these lap cars don't realize how fast these leaders are, and whenever they get to him, then they're like, oh, I need to get out of the way now, instead of getting out of the way before he gets there, and then the guys behind him just follow in his wake. I think this is a really crucial time for you to get around somebody if you're going to try and do it, and I'm talking about the number 69, Matt Kucker. If he wants to get around that 71 to try and contest for the lead, he's got to do it now. And look at this lead right now. It's absolutely decimated because of the 03 who's running the top line. So that's what can happen, and looks like the 03 is going to get really in the way, and oh wow, right in front of these other two guys, the 71 and the 69, and still battling for this position. This is incredible. 3 wide, turn number 4. Wow, that's all I can say, Kelly. These guys are putting on a great show right now, and 71 gets a little loose out of turn number 2.
But this everyone holds on to it, but that will kill a lot of his speed. Looks like Matt Kucker will have a bit of a nose ahead now, the 71. He might clear this time around, just not quite able to get his bumper cleared that time through turns 3 and 4. So another slide from Nicholas Rasmussen, and he'll ease up on the throttle, and that'll give Matt Kucker second place.
I remember Matt Kucker won last week. Last time we were here, and my gosh, he had a tremendous lead over these guys, and right now he's had to really fight for this one, as that's now down to under a half a second of a lead between himself and Matt Kucker. Looking at some battles throughout the field, looks like all the lap cars are making it really difficult to see the battles on the track, but looks like Sean Cool is trying to put the pressure back on Guimay Fortin, who's actually come up to 4th position right now, so he's up 5 positions on the day. Doing a really good job, giving a good shout out for that number 13 driver. He's gonna have over 2 seconds to swallow and to get back if he's gonna try and catch these leader guys. But that lead is starting to come down between Watson and the 69. In fact, it's side-by-side battling here to turn number 3 for the lead.
Yeah, 69 again going into his tried and tested inside line, and he has made that work where so many other drivers haven't been able to, and it's kind of surprising that what kind of grip he's found down there. Again, getting all the way down. He is going off of the racing surface to find the grip, and he's making it work. He's now got his nose ahead of Jake Watson. So, and again, all the way down, he's actually going to clear Jake Watson this time around.
Here's what's going on, Kelly, as we just run over halfway. We'll do a midway race break here in just a moment, but I'm watching these guys on the outside. Look at him just pull away. I mean, he's got himself 3 or 4 car lengths in front of the 88s. These guys have really used their tires up quite a bit, and Matt Kucker looks really solid. I don't see him having any wobbles or anything, and this is exactly what happened last time we were racing with the Pro Late Model Series, is that these guys, or Kucker himself, with these long green flag runs, is just able to really have the handle on the car despite having these long runs. So Kucker is in the lead, and we'll do our midway race break presented by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation. iRacing is developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service. iRacing organizes, hosts, and officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world. In the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, and many more. So back to what is going on the track. Kucker, he's got himself a little over 5/10 of a lead, and you've got Nicholas Rasmussen and Jake Watson battling for second, and Watson's in second, Rasmussen's in third. Game Fortin is in fourth place right now, doing a good job, and then John Cool has dropped back a few positions to fifth. Scott Nielsen, he's in sixth place, and you've got Kyle Charpentier in seventh, and Justin McDuff, he's in eighth. Brian Rogers Jr. is in ninth, and you've got Eric Hag in 10th.
Al Smith Jr. currently sits at 11th. 12th is the 25, Stefan Marinac. Mark Royer sitting at 13th. 14th, Alex Oriens. Brian Long in 15th. James McIntyre in 16th. 17th, our last driver on the lead lap is Dan Dubuque. 18th, Chris Martin. 19th, Wayne McDuff. And rounding out our top 20 is the one of Dylan Prosser.
Dylan just one lap down. Michael Woodring, he's in the 21st position. You've got Dave Dubuque in 22nd. He got spun out earlier than Rudy Bildrick and Rex Hoyle are 23rd and 25th. And Mike Holtzclaw, he dropped out for just a little bit. I think he may be trying to fix something as he's come on and off the track. And then Trevin Valderrama, his day is over 10 laps into the race. And really big heartbreak and hard time for him so far this season. So that's been a look at your iRacing Midway race break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. For a limited time, you can now visit iRacing.com/World of Outlaws and take advantage of some exclusive promo codes and get yourself on iRacing with a 1-year membership for half off, or you can simply try iRacing with a 3-year membership for less than $5. And again, that's iRacing.com/World of Outlaws. So we're getting really close to the 2/3 mark. So that's really close.
Yeah, not too much time left in this race, so if Nicholas Rasmussen wants to make a move, he's got to make it soon, but he just can't quite get close enough to Jake Watson. He's trying every single kind of line he can right now. He's getting almost all the way up to the wall in the entry of these corners, trying to see if he can just find the grip in that gray section of the racetrack, as he just can't quite get as much grip on that really heavily rubbered in inside line anymore.
Look how high Nicholas Rasmussen is going up the track. Oh, he slams into the wall right there to turn number 4. These guys are just up to the wall like we talked about. There's nowhere else you can go. I don't think. If you're going to the very bottom of the track, you've got to go under that yellow line, which is only going to get the car out of shape when you start going back up, because you've still got to go through that dark patch that you're seeing. So this battle for second is really good, and Rasmussen had to hunt down Jake Watson. I don't think he's going to really be able to get him at the moment, at least the way it stands. He's trying a lot of different things, though. He's trying to go and cut the corner a little bit out of turn number 4, but what that's doing, oh, here we go. We have a caution on the field, and where is it at? I don't see any cars around, so it's unclear to me why we have a caution, but a caution has been thrown.
Yeah, I heard some skidding, so I think a car did get sideways and just kind of yeah, it looks like the 13. Yeah, the 13 and the 24 got into each other, just turned the 13 sideways. He was able to save the car, and everyone checked up. Caution was thrown, and I think everyone has got away with that without any damage. Just a little bit of contact between those two drivers, but no harm has come to either of them.
Good control by both drivers to really just keep themselves out of harm's way, and all the drivers behind them. And I thought the 33 of Naslund was going to be absolutely hit that 13. He was on the brakes hard, but good thing the 13 rolled down the track like he did. Otherwise, I'm unsure what the results would be. So we've got drivers coming down pit road. This is going to change the game.
Yeah, it looks like everyone has come down. Everyone on the lead lap has currently come down the field into the pit road, and yeah, definitely could see that coming. There was no way that these guys could find a way around this track. Everyone was just searching for the grip that just wasn't there. The cars were getting all sorts of out of shape and loose around the corners, so definitely it was a time for these guys to come down pit road and get 4 new tires on. It looks like Matt Cocker will actually lose a few positions there. I think Jake Watson and Nicholas Rasmussen both got out ahead of him, but quite a large margin.
Oh, and look, we got one driver that may be caught by the pace car. John Cool looks like he may have made it. I'm not sure if he didn't get a penalty, though. That was really close for him. And I've got to wonder if some of these drivers took 2 tires, too, for track position, just because of how coveted it is. I'm unsure about that, at least at the moment. But we're going to get a lot of drivers come right back around and get the wave around as well. So looks like Jake Watson, like you said, he will have the lead. And you've got Brian Long in the 08. Looks like he'll be starting 2nd place.
It's Eric Hagg. Eric Hagg actually stole the lead.
Oh. So he wasn't a lap down car. I thought he was going to be the wave around. So I'm going to be under the assumption that the number 99 has not pit or something. I'll have to go back and check.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a look back, but either he took.
He did, or he came down pit road and got his service. So I'm unsure of how he has got himself up to the lead, but he sure enough is there, just like everyone else. So we will have 2 to go. We just got the 1 to go waved off, and so Eric Hagg, he will start these guys. He's got a pretty beat up machine, but wow, up to the front, pit strategy, whatever you call it, whatever it is, it's really good for him. Who it's really bad for? Matt Cocker. He's sitting in 5th place right now.
I don't think Hagg took tires. I never saw his car get jacked up on either side, so he might have just come down and banged out some damage before taking off, because I never saw that car get lifted up. So that may be why he's in the lead, and if that is the case, that's going to throw a wrench in a lot of plans, because he's going to be extremely slow compared to these guys that got fresh tires.
Low and loose, and the same thing with Brian Long. I'm pretty sure he's on some sort of pit strategy as well, so I'm sure race control is telling these drivers to be really easy here on this restart, as this is going to be a very chaotic one at the very least. So we're going to have 45 laps to go whenever we go green. The 99 of Eric Hagg, he's going to lead his first laps of the season here. And here we go. Green flag is in the air. Early green flag for these guys, and it is displayed. The 88 is going to go to the down to the bottom. We're going to go 3 wide here for just a moment here. And it looks like the 08, the Long, he's going to get into the 71. And the 71 is going to get into the 99. It's chaos everywhere. But the first 2 make it good. Eric Hagg in the outside wall, and 4 wide for maybe just a moment. Wow, this is chaotic here, Kelly.
Yeah, as mentioned, a couple of these guys may not have taken tires, and there again, 4 wide, and this isn't going to work.
It's going to work. Oh,
no, 13 to the wall, 99 sideways, a lot of damage, and we got a big pile up this time.
Oh, wow, a lot of drivers rear-ended each other right there in turn number 4, and you just saw that was going to happen. 4 wide. That was... I just don't even know how they could have made it out of that. But to be fair, that wasn't that bad of an accident like we thought it would. I mean, a lot of drivers got some front end damage, and I think the 08 might have gotten the worst of it by hitting the outside wall pretty cleanly. But looks like Eric had. I mean, I thought he was fine. I don't think he. I think he hit the wall, but I mean, if he came down a little bit. But that's 4 wide. I mean, every driver's going for what they can, and that's really difficult for any driver to expect themselves at this track to go 4 wide.
Yeah, you can't go 4 wide at a super speedway. You can't go 4 wide at a short track. Because I mean, you got 4 guys there. Someone should have maybe gone, hey, this isn't a great idea, lift it. But you're so late in the race. It's so hard to make any sort of move. Everyone's just trying to see if they could quickly sneak through. But it just caught all 4 of those guys out. But it was definitely something that maybe someone should have gone, maybe this isn't the best idea.
Yeah, and I think when the driver up front, there's nothing you can do. You've already put yourself in that position, and then if you're the driver is trying to pass, you're in the position where you know you've got to go because the guy behind you is going to go as well. You can't let that guy get the advantage on you, despite the car that's going slow. So what I'd say is just throw it at the typical short track racing. But there's a lot of drivers with front end damage. Good thing is it's late in the race, and I don't think that any of these engines are going to blow up anytime soon. But we do have plenty of drivers with front end damage. I think just about everyone behind the 3rd place driver has some sort of front end damage. That's why we come to these short tracks. That's why we come to Sobo. It's kind of what it's all about.
Yeah, everyone's bumping and banging, and if we have a clean leader at the end of the race, they have either been at the front the entire time or just found themselves lucky, because you have got to just push your way through some of these sometimes here at this track.
Yeah, you can even tell that Watson has a little bit of front end damage. I think the 71 to the first 3 drivers is the cleanest, although he's definitely had some right front damage from getting the wall. I know that. I saw him getting the wall. But that is all in the past, and we've got not that long until this race ends, and Heather Caution slows us down. We have a lot of fast drivers up here. We've got to mention that Brian Long, he's still in 4th place, and I know he's still on old tires, so we're going to have to see how these guys maneuver around him. Jake Watson, however, he is in the lead, and he will give us this restart. Remember, he's really good at maneuvering these restarts. He's already gone, and those first 3 drivers are absolutely blitzed out of there. It looks like Long is going to go 3 wide with the drivers, and it's going to be the battle for 2nd here.
Yeah, some big problems for Brian Long, and he's going to get squeezed up against the wall with the 13, and there's some big problems. Long gets turned a little bit, but he's able to hold on to it, so we will stay green at the moment. So some great moves from Eric, some great car control from Eric Long, and now look at Nicholas Rasmussen. He's stuck on that high side, and Matt Cucker once again using that inside line to his advantage. He is stuck down there quite a few times tonight. He will make the move for 2nd. Looks like he's going to go under from a counterattack though from Nicholas. Nicholas will try that out inside line this time around, but can't quite make it stick just like Matt can.
That crossover move was almost executed to a T. It's just the fact that that outside lane is so good here. Despite having new tires, it looks like Cucker is ready to go here. He's
just behind the problems.
Oh yeah, looks like they're gonna. Oh wow, how'd they save it? Looks like the 20 of Justin McDuff. Oh, he's still under fire, but wow, look at that. And look at the 25 of Stefan Marinak. He's come back from being back all the way into 25th position. Oh my goodness. He's in 5th place right now.
Yeah, I can see that contact between the 20 and the triple three coming. They were just battling hard, bumping each other. That was just something that was to be expected. But yeah, some great driving from Stefan Marinak. He got thrown all the way back in the field and has made his way back up, fought his way through the field, and maybe even some smart pit strategy along there as well as put himself back into the hunt for a top 5.
That's something he's always kind of been known for, is not maybe having the speed in the race or in practice and qualifying. Man, he'll have it in the race for sure, and definitely seeing that start to progress as this race is coming to 30 laps to go next time by. And coming back to these leaders, Cucker has caught Watson again, but will Watson be able to let him by again? I think that's going to be with a battle here that's coming very soon. You see Cucker going to the very bottom of the track, and even below that yellow line, almost all 4 tires below it. And I'd have a feeling there's definitely a rhyme to his racing, because it's not the fastest, at least at the moment. But I think the 88's caught onto something, because he's going there too. Although, look at the 69, he's going to the middle lane right now. I have to wonder how long Cucker waits till he goes, because there will be a time where it'll be too late.
Yeah, and if he's going to make a move, he's going to have to make it soon. We have less than 30 laps to go, and he's now getting up to the bumper. It looks like he's going to get a nose inside of the 88, and I don't think Jake is going to let this go easily. He is going to fight tooth and nail, and this might get a little bit bumping and grinding soon, as these guys have made another great run from the 69. Just can't quite find the gap that he wants, though. The 88 goes down to cover him off this time, and again, some arcing from Matt Cucker, and he's going to try again to get a run, but just can't quite get his nose in. And Jake is making that car as wide as possible.
Right, and this is about making your line, playing a little bit of head games, and just kind of putting yourself in position maybe for the driver in front of you to make a mistake. This is hard for Jake Watson. He's mirror driving and making sure he doesn't make a mistake, because Cucker's right there. Any mistake that Watson makes, it's going to be exploited. And then 69 is going to be right there. He's trying the inside line. I just don't think that inside line is going to be where you're wanting to make that pass. But he has been really strong on both top and bottom all night. So 25 laps to go, and that's, oh wow, he chopped his nose off there in turn number 3 right there, and Cucker is absolutely right there. Gosh, this battle is really close between these two guys going to turn number 1, and Cucker is going to actually be able to get a nose to the outside, but the 88's going to power it off on the inside.
Yeah, Watson has got to be driving with one eye looking forward, hitting his marks, and the other eye in his mirror, watching to see where Matt Cucker is placing his car, and he's got to just block him as hard as he can, because it looks like if he makes a single mistake, he's done. But if he leaves a gap open, he's also done it, because the 69 is going to exploit that as well. So Jake Watson has got to be he's got to focus on driving and hitting his marks, but he's also going to focus on where that 69 is. It looks like the 69 is going to try to use the lap traffic as a pick, and that will give him a bit of an advantage. Let's see if he can make that outside line work.
There goes Knuckle on the outside. This is where he's been so strong, and so it's going to be a dash to see which driver is able to get it. Oh, 88 moves up the track, pulls a good old short track move of going up and maybe giving him a little bit of a nudge. That's what you would typically see from the passing driver, but this outside lane's been so good. 88's trying to go right up with him. He might get contact with him on the front straightaway, but 88's still powering on the inside. Oh, wow, they're so close. He moves him. He's going to get into him just a little bit, and it's not going to work out. The 69 is going to be able to have the advantage here. He's going to take over the lead on lap 131.
Yeah, look at that Jake Watson wanted to try to bump into him once again. Matt held his ground, bumped him right back, and that kind of moved around the 88 a bit. Almost got into the bumper, though. Jake Watson nearly getting to the rear bumper. Matt Knuckle, and again, he's going to get right up to the bumper.
He knows that it may be over if Knuckle can get too far away. I think that's exactly what he's doing. He's knowing that he was within arm's reach, and Knuckle knew he needed to get away because he's been faster on these longer runs, and Watson did everything he could. You can't blame him for getting a little bit physical right there, and I think Knuckle expected it. This is a really hard-fought battle between these guys, and it's no love lost because that's just how it's supposed to be when you're able to do it. You've been bumping and grinding all night. I think that's just something to expect from these drivers, as they've been actually racing pretty cleanly up until these final stages of this race. So coming up to 15 laps to go, Kelly, and Knuckle's actually just pulling away just a little bit each lap now.
Yeah, but another thing to point out is, yes, these guys were bumping and banging, but neither of them wrecked each other. Neither of them overstepped that line. They kept it. They got into each other, but they kept it clean. Neither of them tried to take the other out. They were just kind of trying to knock them a little bit offline, trying to just force their way up to the front. So I think it was definitely a hard-fought battle, but it was a very clean-fought battle.
14 laps to go is what the tune of Matt Knuckle going around this track, and he really hasn't led a whole lot of laps tonight. In fact, Jake Watson has led the most laps tonight, and looking back throughout the field, looks like Stefan Marinak has got another position on the night, so he's going to be not our biggest mover, but we'll definitely give him a good holler for. He's probably passed the most cars in literal fashion, but not moved up from starting position. I think that would have to be the number 06 of McIntyre Jr., who moved up 10 positions, but either way, both those drivers doing a heck of a job tonight of maneuvering through the field and getting themselves as much of an advantage in position as possible. So this lead, it looks like it's coming down just a little bit with these lap cars, but Knuckle's been so good at maneuvering through these lap cars as well that I just have a good feeling with 11 laps to go, it's going to be Knuckle's race to lose, at least at this point.
Yeah, not only has he been great at moving through he's going to get into the rear end of the 08. He's not happy with the 08's line, I guess. I think he wants to take the outside, wanted the 08 to stay inside, but gave the 08 a bit of a shot. But Matt Knuckle will get around. I think he's going to lose a bit of time. 08 actually going to get up near to the bumper, the 69. I almost thought for a second he was going to give him a shot right back, but as I was saying, Matt Knuckle not only has made his way through the field quite well, or through the lap traffic quite well, he actually used that to his advantage when making that pass for the lead. He just tried to force the 88 down to the inside where he saw that lap traffic was sitting, and just kind of used that lap traffic as a bit of a pick. It looks like the 88 actually slides up the track in front of the 08, so some little bit of trouble that Jake Watson's having back there, and he's actually losing a bit of ground. He's now 7/10 back.
Yeah, I think if the 08 could have given a shot back to Matt Knuckle, he would have. But if he did that, I think he would have definitely taken him out. Even as a lap car, you don't like to get that shove. You know, you like to try and keep yourself pretty clean. But I think Knuckle didn't realize how fast he was coming up on the 08 there. So I think just like you've been saying, it's just one of those deals where you can start running out of room. You start running into other drivers, and even if you don't mean to. So as they're continuing to go along this racetrack of caution right now, would effectively end the race at the next time they cross the stripe. So it will be 5 laps to go here this time, and Matt Knuckle, that's the one thing he wanted to hear right now, is so he'll get the 5 laps to go. Caution comes out, it's going to be his race, and then the rest of the drivers, I think right now, are just trying to make sure that they keep themselves in good position, good check. But Stefan Marinak has absolutely done a good job. I can't say it enough how hard that is to come up through the field twice, and a lot of other drivers have been doing the same thing as well. Justin McDuff, he had that issue earlier as well. He got into a couple drivers, and he's actually doing really good battle. Lots up the left front. This is a good battle to watch right now, actually, as he's trying to get around the 30-33 of Charpentier with a lap car in the way. So, no, the lead's, the race is almost over, but these guys still battling like it's the last lap, and the 33 almost loses it right there, but really good fighting all over still.
Yeah, 20 of Justin McDuff is trying to get himself into a top 5 position, but that triple 3 of Kyle Charpentier will not let him go, and actually will keep hold of position. Now it's starting to run away just a little bit, so some great driving from both those guys, and a little bit of a wrench thrown into the thing by Michael Woodring, just as a lap traffic is kind of getting in the way a little.
Last lap for Matt Knuckle as he crosses the flag stand, and this will be 2 in a row if he's able to get around these lap cars and make it 1 or 2 tenths more. So coming out of turns number 3 and 4, number 69 of Matt Knuckle, he will get the victory on the night and make it 2 in a row. He will effectively, I think he'll get the points lead here tonight too. So the fireworks out of turn number 3 and 4, up and ablazing for the number 69 machine.
Yeah, that's some great driving from Matt Knuckle. Just didn't quite have that practice or qualifying pace, but once he got into the race, he could show that once those tires wore down, he was the one that knew where to find that line, where to find that extra grip. He used some pretty unorthodox lines, and just it wasn't really like a single line he used. He used the high side at a few points. He used that low side. I mean, he almost went, as we mentioned, he went 4 tires off the racing surface a couple times. He used absolutely every single inch of this track from wall to wall to the best of his advantage.
Something I've always said about Matt Knuckle is he's very adaptive. He's almost always able to adapt to whatever comes to the track, whether it's a lot of rubber down on the track, whether it's just adapting to the way his car is or anything like that. He's just able to really adjust and make things happen for that 69. So a lot of great things have happened with that 69 over the last few months in the Cars eSports Tour, and he's off to a really good start with the Upstate Racing League. So he'll get the win tonight, so we'll go through the full rundown of where your favorite drivers may have finished tonight. So of course Matt Knuckle gets the win in a very similar time as last year's race. About 45 minutes was last year's race, and so about a minute more than this time around. So Jake Watson, he'll get second place. Nicholas Rasmussen, that was basically your top 3 all night long between those guys. And then Stefan Marinak, he'll get the 4th position, and a really good job by him. And Kyle Charpentier will finish in the 5th position. Justin McDuff finished in 6th place. Scott Naslund, he'll finish 7th. Brian Rogers Jr., he'll finish in the 8th position. The 9th and 10th finishes James McIntyre Jr. and Al Smith Jr.
Guillaume Fortin will finish in 11th. Sean Cool, after running up front for so long early on, just ran into a bit of trouble, drops back to 12th. 13th is 36th of Mark Royer. Chris Martin in 14th. 15th, our last car on the lead lap, was the number 1 of Dylan Prosler. Brian Long will finish 16th. 17th, Wayne McDuff. Michael Woodring in 18th. 19th, Jay Dubuque. And rounding out our top 20 is the 50 of Rex Hoyle.
Finishing out in the 21st position is Rudy Widrick. He'd be the last driver to be on the racetrack, and then the next 5 drivers had issues earlier on and would be retiring early. So Eric Hag, Dan Dubuque, Alex Oriens, Mike Holtzclaw, and Trevin Valderrama would finish 22nd, 23rd, 24th, 5th, and 26th on the night. So while these guys get prepared and get out of their cars and celebrate, that's what Matt Knuckle will be doing. We'll be able to get a word with those first 3 drivers, Knuckle, Watson, and Rasmussen, after this commercial break. You won't want to miss it. We're LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Hi, I'm Ryan Priest. I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds, punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different, and the way you go about setting them up's a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol. And then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Welcome back to South Boston as we have concluded tonight's 150-lap race provided by Jokers Esport. And we're going to talk to your winner of Matt Cucker, who is in victory lane. Matt Cucker in the 69 machine makes it to back-to-back races. Matt, you're here in victory lane 2 weeks in a row, and yeah, I'd say you are really close to getting that points lead from Stefan Marinak, but overall, a good race for you, and it was hard fought. We saw you and Jake Watson have a really good battle. It was really fun to watch from our point of view. You guys really duke it out in really pretty much the entire race.
Yeah, earlier on in the race, I was just riding, trying to see what the car was going to do, because in practice it would get really loose, and earlier on in the race, and I was just riding, I couldn't go anywhere. The top wasn't, everyone was up top, and you couldn't really get the bottom to work. And then finally, I think, 80 laps in, the bottom finally came in that I could run it, and I was able to get to the lead then. But then on that pit stop, I got to go back and talk to the guys. They're all fired. I mean, I think we came out 7th out of that, and it was just a terrible pit stop. But I was lucky enough that I could drive the car super hard when we went back green, and once I got up to Jake, I was running the bottom, and he saw it, and he just took my line away. I was trying everything I could, and there was just, I don't even know how I got to the top side of him. I think he got a little loose, and finally I got to the top and was able to stick it out there, and it was pretty fun running door to door.
Yeah, between you, Jake, and Nicholas, I'm sure you guys are talking in the interview waiting room there, and kind of discussing exactly what went on the track. But talk to us about kind of just the race in general. And I know you said it was getting really loose, but we saw before the race even started that there was a lot of rubber laid down. Was that something that you expected, that this would be a race that you'd be continuously getting closer to the wall and maybe even touching it at times, apexing that corner?
I mean, I really thought with all the rubber down, I mean, I've ran a lot of laps here, and this is the most rubber I've ever seen laid down, I think. And I really thought I'd be up closer to the wall, and at the beginning of the race there, I mean, everyone I thought was up there, and then the bottom just wasn't fast. So, I mean, I didn't expect the bottom to ever come in because it was that much rubber down, and then finally it did, and I think the rubber down there cooled off a little bit, and then it had more grip than the top side. But before that, it was all the top, and I really thought we'd be up closer to the wall than what we really were. I know I got really close that one time Jake was under me, and I didn't think I could get any closer than that.
Well, as we're going to week number 4, it's going to be Martinsville for, I think, 100 laps. It's a really fun track and really famous, and I think we can expect great things from you and a lot of other drivers here in this series. Tell us kind of what you expect to come into Martinsville with.
Martinsville's kind of a fun track. I mean, hopefully the setups will be pretty decent, where it's not too tight or not too loose, and you just actually have to roll the corner the whole time. So I hope we're going to have a good showing. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's going to be fun, though.
It is Martinsville, and I'd say more times than not, anytime we have a Martinsville, we typically get one or the other. Either a lot of drivers show up or kind of the same amount of drivers show up. So, Matt, you know how the drill goes. Who makes it happen for you in the 69 machine?
Man, I got to thank Championship Esports for coming on board for this race. Got a couple more throughout the season, but I got to thank them for coming on board. Team Vincier, iAnalyze, Globalcom, you guys for broadcasting. I got to thank James McIntyre for sponsoring the race here tonight at Sobo. So it's been a blast, and hopefully we can get another win or somewhere up front next week.
All right, there you have it, Matt Cucker, going back-to-back here from Stafford to South Boston. Matt, congratulations on your win, and we'll see you next time.
All righty, thank you.
All right, so we go from Matt back down to pit road, where Kelly Dahl has caught up with Jake Watson.
Yeah, I'm here with Jake Watson, the driver of the number 88, finishing second here tonight. And Jake, I don't know about you, but I hope you had as much fun in that battle with Matt as we did watching that battle.
Oh man, I had so much fun with Matt. He's quick everywhere he goes. I didn't have nearly as much speed on the long run as he did. I was more of a short run car, but I tried moving up a lane when I was on the inside there, and I just couldn't get around him. So good win to Matt, and props to him.
Now, it seems like you guys were really struggling to find grip here as this track or this race rolled on. I mean, so much rubber was put down in practice, and everyone started with the inside line. Then we moved up to the middle lane, and soon you guys were all the way up to the wall. And then you guys started to move down once again. So, what was it like trying to just find the grip out there?
It was all over the place. The new dynamic tracks that iRacing put into this really changed the game. Early on in the run, I was running the bottom, and I just tried to move up, and it worked for a little bit, and then I just slowly fell off.
So next week we go on to Martinsville, and that's definitely a bit different from South Boston. I mean, what do you think is going to be your advantage or disadvantage there?
I won the Late Model Nationals earlier this year that URL put on, so I think that'll be a certain advantage, but that's one of my favorite tracks that we go to all year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Now, we had a few moments here in the race where there was a lot of lap traffic kind of just running all over the place. Were you having some difficulty getting through the traffic that was out there?
Yeah, I couldn't really find a way around them. They were running the both bottom, middle, and top. I just couldn't find a way around them. And then eventually Nick and Matt caught me, and Matt got by me at one point. So I think that's what kind of changed the game for me. Wore out my tires too much.
Well, before we let you go here, Jake, we're just going to give you a moment to thank whoever you wish to thank for this second place finish tonight.
Yeah, first and foremost, I got to thank London Recreational. They're a huge help. And Daryl Ecott's Custom Diecast, and Left Turn Chassis, and Al Smith for putting on the show.
All right, well, thank you very much, Jake, for stopping by with us. Congrats on your second place finish, and we'll hope to see you again next week.
Yep, thank you.
All right, going to send it back to Austin Coop, who's now caught up with the driver, the number 71, our third place finisher.
Yeah, I've caught up with Nicholas Rasmussen, and it's always good to talk to the number 71 machine. Nicholas, how'd your race go? You started in the first position, which was, I think, a really good start for you guys, and somewhat quickly lost the lead, but we're always in the hunt for that top three. The three of you guys, I think, were just in a class of your own versus the rest of the field. So simply just tell us how your race went.
Yeah, we should win a bit better, like 2 places better, so I could have gotten the win, but it just wasn't fast enough today. Struggled a lot early on, just finding the right groove to run in. The track seemed to develop quite aggressively, so you had to run higher and higher, it seemed, and I was just too slow to realize where to run, and that really cost me today. I've been limited on practice time. We're going for the Gap SRT team are going for the iRacing Road Pro Series this season as well, and that has taken priority. So I'm happy that I got third today. It's a good, solid result, but I want to win, so it just didn't work out this time. I made some mistakes, and there's a lot to learn from here, which I will take with me into future races, and that's important because we're not in the chase yet. There's a long way to go, and hopefully we can take these lessons here and learn from them.
Yeah, overall, this actually is a really good points day for you. I think this will throw you in front of Sean Cole, which will put you in the top 3 in points. And we got to talk about, I think, just the consistency that you've always typically had, and that you're starting to you had during week 1, and then a last lap accident had you caught up in something, but overall still you've kind of been in the picture of the top 3, top 5 in all of the races that we've had so far. And is it something that you've just kind of built up over the years of racing these cars? And it does sound like you've been putting a lot of time into these other cars, so which is actually, I think, pretty cool for you. But with these short tracks, is with that road course racing helping you any at all with these short track racing? I'm kind of curious of what your input on that would be.
Actually, I think it's right the opposite way. I started racing these cars here, I think it's 5 years ago, and then I went into the Formula One car a few years after. And the funny thing is that I learned so much from racing here in the Upstate Racing League and with the oval cars, and how to be smooth and how to be consistent. It's something that I've not only been able to put into my road racing in the Formula One car, but also I race some karting, and I learned some valuable lessons that I definitely learned on the sim in these cars here. I still race them because they are really enjoyable, and hopefully I can continue with it, even though time is very limited.
Well, one more question I've got to ask you before we ask you about your shoutouts and sponsors is how close you guys were at the wall today, because I do remember a time or two where you were so high up on the wall that you couldn't arc it back down in turn number 4 and get back and not hit the wall, but you were still really fast. But I think that's the biggest thing for me, is how are you guys able to manage the wall later on in the goings of that race?
I found the line with worn tires that worked really well, really high up. How you manage it, try not to think about it, try to just run on your feel, and don't get, when you get too close, you get a 0x, and that should be a little bit of a warning for you. You kind of get the feeling as to how close you can run without hitting it, without actually looking at the wall. I think if you start to look at the wall, that's where it goes wrong. There's a saying in racing, wherever you look, you go. So that's the last thing you want to do, is to look at that wall.
Well, as we watch you have a pretty good race tonight, who makes it happen for you on the 71 machine?
Gab SRT, brilliant team. Always like being here. Got some great teammates, and as I said, we're running for the Pro Series in the McLaren MP430, and really excited for that. And want to give a shout out to everybody from my team for being so awesome. Always great support. Gotta thank Jokers eSports and White Knuckle Clothing for sponsoring the race and the series, Al Smith Jr. for managing it all, and you guys in the booth for always providing good entertainment and good broadcast for us to watch back after the races. This is one I look forward to look back on, even though it didn't win. I think it was a blast to race out here, and I think that's about it.
Well, as always, we wish you good luck at the next race, and we'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, there you have it, 71 and Nicholas Rasmussen, last year's champion, and looking to have a good run this year as well. Kelly, we just saw a very quick but very entertaining and very adrenaline-filled race, and I think it was really cool to hear Watson say he had a lot of fun despite falling to Matt Kucker in the late goings of this race. It was, it was a really good battle to watch between those two, but I think whenever they started getting the long runs, and Jake even said it himself, once that long run started getting it, just Jake started losing the control of the car, and Matt was able to just power off those corners. And I think a lot of these drivers are going to notice that if they have these long green flag runs that they're accustomed to, Kucker is going to be a really strong player in just about every one of those scenarios.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the way he practices. As he mentioned in the interview, is he focused on the car getting loose or losing grip in that long run. So he really tried to focus on his practice, not just for the quick one lap time. He wanted to see how the car was going to react and maybe what way he could change, use that to his advantage, or even, try to minimize his car losing that grip. So just the way he practices, focuses on those long runs, and if he can get those long runs, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and as always, we want to thank the White Knuckle Clothing Incorporated for giving their title sponsor for this series and giving out, making it possible for us to be able to even do this. It's a really cool deal, and I want the folks at home to go check them out. We'll have more information on them as the weeks are coming. We do want to thank Jokers eSports for being tonight's title sponsor of the night as well. Any final thoughts you have here, Kelly, about tonight's race?
It definitely was an interesting race. It was. It really goes to show what iRacing has changed with the dynamic surface model has worked. These guys had to search the entire track for grip, because as they found that piece of grip, people were running that line and were not only putting down more rubber, but heating that part of the track up. And once that part of the track did warm up, these guys again had lost grip there and had to search somewhere else. So it was really just less of a race about who was the fastest and more of a race of who could find that grip first.
And so the lights at South Boston start to turn off, and the track cools down, and we will say goodbye to Sobo until next year. But the White Knuckle Clothing Pro Late Model Series will be here next week with Martinsville for the OnPitRoad.com 100. So to stay up to date with everything LSRTV, you can go to livesimracing.com. Tomorrow they'll be having the Super Speedway Cup race. It's either Daytona or Talladega. Just don't know which one it's going to be, but either way, it's going to be fun. And then we'll have the United Sim Racing League on Saturday with the truck. So from all of us here at LSRTV, Evan Pasoko, Laura Lawson, and DJ Lyon, and from all of us tonight in the booth, I'm Austin Goop. Kelly Dahl is in the booth tonight. Thanks for joining us. And Cisco Scarmuzza was giving us all that good picture for tonight. So we say goodbye, and we'll see you at the next track.